Okay, so why would you use cloud services? As you can see, the first one is the reason why most people want to use it. You want to be cool. You want to be the guy on your block that says, hey, I'm in the cloud. Which, right, when I first started to do this slide about a year and a half ago, it was a lot more impactful, but now that so many people are in the cloud and what have you, it's not as cool as it used to be. So, but it's still somewhat of a highlight for people to say, I'm in the cloud, my business is that advanced and what have you. To save money is the first legitimate reason. It's the primary reason most people go to the cloud. Not only do you save money on your infrastructure because you get rid of a service or a system, and you may be able to get rid of an entire infrastructure on your side of the house, except for your internet connection, you can save on real estate. So if you get rid of systems, you need less room to keep those old systems in there, so you make a smaller real estate investment to support those systems. Personnel, I hate this for all my fellow IT folks, but it is a fact. A lot of people are moving to the cloud because then they can get rid of certain personnel. It's a lot of reason why help desks, external help desks or outsourced help desks have become very popular, because then you don't have to pay for a person to sit in your own office to do that. Management of a service, upgrades to the latest and greatest, storage in terms of hard drive storage, data storage. You can continue to grow it, and because of that previous slide where I say it's scalable, you can scale it as needed, and you don't have to invest in additional infrastructure. This is actually the one we find the most useful and always have been, to build disaster recovery and business continuity into your environment. Anybody here know the difference between disaster recovery and business continuity? Come on, I'm calling somebody. Go for it.
Disaster recovery is more focused on IT recovery, whereas business continuity is the entire business, focusing on the business processes and ensuring them together.
That is very correct. The way we really break it down is that disaster recovery is focused on IT or the data portion of your environment. Business continuity is focused on your business. So let's say, for the sake of argument, you worked in an office space. All of a sudden, that office space is inaccessible. There's mold in the building. You have a fire in the building. There's the building goes into foreclosure and they kick everybody out, kind of deal. How do you keep your business running then? That's a business continuity standpoint. The cloud is perfect for both of them. The cloud is great for disaster recovery because you house your data. You bring it back through any internet connection, which is the beauty of the way the disaster recovery works. Business continuity is the same structure. You could replicate your entire environment to another server setup in somebody's data center somewhere in the Midwest, hook in an internet connection, and your primary office goes down. You can go home and work like you were sitting at your desk. Everybody can communicate with their phones as if they were sitting at their desk. It's just kind of the way the world works now. That's why a lot of people are thinking about that as the model for their business. Anybody here ever fly JetBlue? Okay. If you ever called their customer service, you have a greater than 60% chance of actually getting a representative on the phone who's sitting in their home and working as the customer service rep in their home. Because all the online booking and everything is available to them right through their computer, and they have a voice over IP phone that just rings for them. So when you call an agent for JetBlue and what have you, ask them where they're working. See if they're working at home. If they're working at home, ask their address so you can go there and say hi to them. Latest and greatest software and services. As everybody knows, technology doesn't stop. There's always an upgrade. Anybody here use iTunes? Okay. 8 times a year, at least, you open iTunes. There's a new version available. Do you want to download it? If you say yes, you have to close iTunes. You have to open a browser. You have to download it to your machine. And then you have to deal with the fact that they reload QuickTime onto your machine as well, because you don't have a choice. And then you have to go through the process. You go to open iTunes again, well, then it's got to index your library again and what have you. Well, in the cloud, you don't have to worry about that, which is what the iCloud is doing, which is what the Amazon cloud is doing and what have you. You put everything up there. When they upgrade it, who cares? It's up there. You're accessing it through a browser. Or you might be accessing it through a client that they upgrade behind the scenes that you don't have to deal with. Well, if you're going to upgrade, let's say your email, and you went from Microsoft 2003 Exchange Server to Microsoft 2007, well, now there's 2010 available. That's a pain. As anybody who's been through it, and we've been through it, it's a pain in the butt. We call it PITA, pain in the ass. So in that regard, with the cloud and what have you, you pretty much get it behind the scenes and you don't worry about it. You don't pay for it, you don't have to deal with it, you don't have to hire anybody to do it. Now, the only other thing that you may have to do is because the interface changes, you may have to retrain your users on where everything is hidden now, which anybody who went from Office 2003 to 2007 knows very well. And then to accommodate a distributed or mobile workforce. We have a client, they're headquartered in Atlanta. They have about 20 people in Atlanta. They have 80 people throughout the United States, though. And all those people work at different locations with different setups. Hardly any of them work in an office environment. So what they've done is they've gone almost entirely cloud-based. They have online storage that everybody gains access to. All their systems that they utilize are all in the cloud and are browser-based. And then all their emails are hosted on Microsoft. And they have voice over IP. So if somebody has to go somewhere, they unplug their phone, they go, they plug it into a high-speed connection, they're right back up and running. And that's all they have to do. That's the way a lot of places are going now. I mean, if you read articles, they're trying to have people work from home. Anybody who's been furloughed or anybody who's working 4 days a week, they're trying to make them work from home. Because then they're trying to reduce their commuting costs and their commuting time and the such. That's kind of the way the world is going. If you want to work from your iPhone, your iPad, your Zoom pad, if you want to download Angry Birds at 10:45 at night and what have you, that's the way the world's going, is the distributed and mobile workforce. Or global. So you have an office in the UK, you open an office here in the United States. Now that things are maturing, you can actually move to the cloud to help you out. And I use that example because we have somebody here who has that exact situation. So again, as you can see, it's meant for you to grow without necessarily having to grow your infrastructure or your expenses and what have you.